Hey guys, thanks for joining me for this video. This is the Psi card reading for the Earth predictions, or sort of remote viewing for March for 2018. Now I was late uploading the February one because I was unavailable to do it on time, so I thought, well, let's make the March one early and see what we can come up with. So doing a little bit of shuffling of intent for March 2018 using the Psi cards for collective conscious energies and to see what general type of energies are surrounding the planet and the people on the planet. March. Okay. The beauty, the stars, fortune, work, the tower, and the birth card. Okay guys, so there are our 6 cards for March. I might just move these up a little bit because I'm going to do a couple of extensions on the fortune card when we get to it. But let's start off with the beauty card on the left hand side. I'll zoom in temporarily. The beauty card in the past has often represented females, obviously, and often in and around Europe or England or even London. So this can represent royalty or political figures, or also celebrities in and around the world generally. Sometimes it's announcements unexpected or unusual coming from these type of people who I've mentioned. So we think immediately, I guess, first up of Princess Kate, who is pregnant and expecting a baby, not in March, I think it was April or May. I just read somewhere recently that she may be further along than she thought, which seems a bit odd, and they're thinking the baby could come sooner, so that's a possibility there. The other possibility, of course, is the new addition to the royal family, Meghan Markle. A lot of people are speculating that there's a possible pregnancy with her already, and that maybe that might be announced. She is getting married in May. Some people have even said that the wedding might be brought forward. I highly doubt that, but there could be a possibility of a pregnancy there with her as well. It may not be announced in March, but perhaps that's when she falls pregnant and we find that out later on. There's also a possibility of other engagement plans in around those royal people, sort of England. You know, like Beatrice, who I think did announce an engagement. There's also, of course, the Queen. Is something up with her or not? She seems to still be quite healthy and fairly well at the moment, but her husband, Prince Philip, is showing some signs of slow decay, so there could be something there with her husband. There is possibility of also Theresa May and Angela Merkel and the Scottish female Prime Minister being in the news in March for various reasons. I think Angela Merkel is trying to do another vote for Germany to see if they can get a more cohesive political party strung together, so there might be more information coming from that realm as well. There could be something to do with celebrities from the United States, and I wondered if, you know, people like the Kardashians might be implicated here, and I'm not sure if it's the girls or the female end of the scenario or the children, but there could be something along those lines as well. We come to the next card, and that's the stars. Now, the stars doesn't turn up very often, and I have often said in the past it's a bit of a misnomer. It's almost as if there are things being written that we don't know the answer to. It's a little bit like the puzzle card, because often when the stars card comes out, it's as if the cosmos is directing certain things to happen as opposed to us. So even though our collective conscious thoughts around the planet do guide a lot of what happens, sometimes it's taken from our hands and it goes further out galactically. So the stars can indicate things that we would least expect happening, that we haven't planned for or we don't understand, or new patterns or systems emerging that are slowly going to take hold and become more structured as time goes on. But some of the other concepts of the star are planetary alignments for the month. Now March is an unusual month, and I think I've said that in most of my recent, astrological videos that I have loaded up. There are 2 full moons in March. Now, the moon is still fairly close to Earth at the moment, so the 2 full moons could give way to these very high tides that we have again. So strange high king tides. So that's really low tides at one end and it's super high tides at the other. The full moons, when they're close to Earth, can also incite quite severe storm cells around the planet. So that's a possibility as well. Also in March we have 2 planets going retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde as well as Jupiter. Now Jupiter is known as the benevolent planet of good luck and good fortune, and it's going retrograde. So sometimes there's a glitch there with finances and luck, if you like. So the stars card is quite an unknown quantity at this stage, but I think it could turn out to be one of the major players. We come to the next card, and it's the fortune card. Now we often think of finances, obviously. Even though the guy is climbing up the spiral and heading out, traditionally I have seen this as a bit of a glitch with money systems on the planet. So it could be the other way. It could be that we see a surge of things happening and we see positivity and growth, but with Jupiter going retrograde it almost feels as if that's not quite so likely to happen. So what I thought I would do here is do a couple of extenders for the fortune card in terms of money and finances. So the first one I'm going to pull out for is the Bitcoin situation. So in March do we see fluctuations in Bitcoin again, like we had in January and February, and are the fluctuations positive or negative? So let's see what card comes out. This is for the Bitcoin. It's the 2 of Cups reversed. So, and the cups are golden, they're golden chalices, and they're upside down, so things would fall out of them. So I'm thinking that we might see a little bit of a decline again in some of the Bitcoin currencies. That's my understanding of seeing that card. The 2 of Cups is still known as a good card. It is about partnerships and potential businesses and things, but as I say, when we get reversals there tends to just be a little bit of a glitch anyhow. Let's do another one, and we will do this for USA finances, so your actual USA dollar value. Let's see what's happening there for March. Okay. The moon reversed. So getting a few reversals for finances, and the deck is not fully reversed. There are some reversals in the deck, but not all of them are reversed. So the moon reversed is again often about hidden things going on, so perhaps not knowing the full stuff that's going on with the dollar, whether or not there's another one of these potential shutdowns. I would have thought that you've been through all the shutdowns, but whether or not they've been resolved properly, so maybe another one is tentatively on the books. Maybe the American dollar does just take a little bit of a downturn. I thought it had been doing quite well lately, but I don't follow it closely because I'm not investing in the US dollar myself, so it's not something I follow on a day-to-day basis. But the moon is sort of shadowy, it's things done underhand, it's not knowing full information again, and it shows a little bit glitchy. So let's take the next one, which I was going to do for the share market for, I guess basically the USA share market, but that will then goes global anyhow. So from whenever one share market shows a bit of a drop, it's just sort of an instant drop globally everywhere. Okay. The Page of Rods, that is new energy coming in or new direction. So you could possibly say it's heading in a new direction. So whatever it's currently doing, it feels as though it will be going in a different direction than what it is. So that's quite creative. There's new possibilities. There's also new information coming to light when that card turns up. So I'm not sure that the share market does a total bailout or anything. It seems as though it might even get some new energy or information or, you know, fire under its belly. So perhaps it continues on an upward swing, which would be quite good. Now I was just going to look at oil, so maybe oil prices, see what they're doing. Can denote a message coming in though, so it can be a new message coming in for the share market. Oil, and I was going to say gold as well. Maybe we will put oil and gold in there together. The gold one looks fine. I would certainly say gold might be a good investment. I don't think that's going down. And the oil, if we've lumped it in there, again, that feels fairly solid or stable. I don't think we'll see a great plummet in the oil for the month of March. Anyhow, we hope we're reading those right. Let's go to the work card. Now the work card can indicate several things, such as time anomalies. So things perhaps not turning up on time or happening when they're meant to. This can be especially with big companies, so forecasts or projections from them. It can be to do with employment at jobs. Sometimes there can be some really nasty workplace accidents that involve a lot of people in a big accident one way or another. It can also involve layoffs within big companies. Another thing that it tends to insinuate is engines, so planes, trains, boats, buses, anything that ferries people around. There can be issues with them and they can be not the best. So again, loss of life type issues with some of these vehicles. We come down to the last two down here, and I'll remove these cards out of the way. We see the Tower and the Birth card. The Tower card often reminds me of buildings through Europe. They look like that. So oddly enough, I'm not sure why, I have often represented this card with Italy. So this card can literally mean things in Italy. Now this could be any number of different perspectives. So it could be political, it could be upheaval of some sort, it could be financial, it could be geographical, and it could be weather related. There's been a lot of speculation from a lot of psychics this year that Italy is in a bit of a place of movement, meaning earthquakes and volcanic activity. And given that the Birth card is right next to this, and the Birth card resembles a volcano erupting in many ways, I feel that possibly for Italy, or even through some other parts of Europe, there will be volcanic activity that is ignited and could be relatively big, as well as earthquakes, as well as storms. So not just Italy, but we could see storms, particularly big rain cells. There's a lot of rain in both of these pictures of the sky, and they are sitting next together. So I'm thinking of areas like up through Europe, or in that big continental block in the middle of, through where Earth, you know, through the middle where it sits in Earth. So heavy storm cells, masses of rain, intense rain, where we see hundreds of mils, you know, 1 to 400 millimeters of rain falling at any given time, creating mudslides, washouts, high tides, tide surges, inland tsunami type things. this card represents the tropics areas. So that would run anywhere right through from sort of India, Sri Lanka, through the Philippines, through all the South Pacific Islands, through areas like the Bahamas, through the Florida type thing. It also represents storm activity through there, as well as volcanic activity, and that also includes possible earthquake activity. We are seeing far more cataclysmic storms almost weekly somewhere around the globe now, and this is just part of the whole experience of climate extreme and where it is headed. So it's quite a full-on interesting reading, especially I think with adding in the cards that we did for the potential finance, looking into that to see how accurate that might be. So there you go, guys, lots of activity and action in the month of March, and I think too, with all these planets going retrograde and 2 full moons, it is bound to be an active month. So please leave your comments below, add your thoughts on the interpretation of all of the cards, including these ones here, and see what your own thoughts might be around that as well, and we'll see how accurate we all are combined as a team. Thanks, guys. Have a safe, happy March. Namaste.